Hello, welcome to Ruth Reacts to Books. I'm your host, Ruxie Ruth McGouth. This is Season 2, Episode 44, my favorite number. And today I am reacting to Ilona Andrews' Gunmetal Magic. This is a book that I listened to on audiobook because I don't know if there is a physical book of this, but if there was, it was not at my library. So what I'll do is I'm going to read the back of the book. I'll tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, the food that I have, and then why I'm wearing these nails to do with this book. All right. After being kicked out of the Knights of Merciful Aid, Andrea's whole existence is in shambles. She tries to put herself back together by working for Cutting Edge, a small investigative firm owned by her best friend. When several shapeshifters working for Rafael Medrano, the male alpha of Clan Buddha, and Andrea's former lover, die unexpectedly at a dig site, Andrea is assigned to investigate. Now she must work with Rafael as her search for the killer leads into the secret underbelly of supernatural Atlanta. And dealing with her feelings for him might have to take a back seat to saving the world. So I gave this book 5 stars. So interestingly, this book it's kind of like a side book that goes along with a series about Kate Daniels. So there's another series of books about Kate Daniels, and which I've read almost all of those books, and I have several Ruth Reacts, I think, to some of those books. But this book, this person right here, this lady, is Kate Daniels' best friend in those books, and this is like a side series about her that kind of takes place like during some of the, like in between some of those other books, which I had no idea even existed. Absolutely no clue. And I didn't even know that these books existed, because when I read the Kate Daniels series, I would just look up what, like, Kate Daniels 1, Kate Daniels 2, Kate Daniels 3, and I would just look up what's the next number. So I had no idea that there were these in-between ones, and like this isn't even a Kate Daniels, this is like an Andrea, because her name is Andrea. However, somehow my husband got hooked on the Kate Daniels books because of Ruth Reacts. See, we help people read. And so he found out that there were all of these mini books in between, and there's also even like 0.5s to the Kate Daniels series. And so he discovered these books, and so I've finished the main Kate Daniels series. I think there's some like novellas that take place after the main series that I haven't read yet, and so I'm going back to try to read all of the little books that I missed. And so this is the first one I read. It's not chronologically the first one that I missed, but it is just one that I missed. So interesting, loved it, 5 stars. So what did I like about it? Well, I mean, I loved all the stuff that I learned about the people. I really do kind of wish that I'd known earlier about this, so I could have gone back and known all of these things, because it definitely gives you so much information just about these side people that you don't need to know necessarily of course you don't need to know it to enjoy that other series, but it's so interesting to find out all the ins and outs of what has been happening kind of on the side of everything. And the book itself was great. The story was wonderful as a standalone story. Even if you had, like, I feel like the back of the book did not do this story justice. If I was to rewrite that, I would do a different back of the book, because this story on its own, if you were to pick this up and read it, this is a great standalone story. You don't have to know any of the other books to be able to enjoy this story, I don't think. Like, I thought that the mystery itself was good. Like, you know, the adventure itself was good. I thought it was very enjoyable. I was kind of reminded of how, like, for someone else, not for me, because I had already read the other books, but like if someone else was to pick this up and read it, it would be like, for me, when I was younger, I watched season 3 finale of Buffy the Vampire Slayer was like my first ever episode I ever watched of Buffy. And it's a very emotional episode, like very emotional, and a great, probably one of the best episodes of Buffy, that season 3 finale. And so coming in on that episode, I was like, wow, this is a great show, and so from then on, at some point later in my life, I then went back and watched all of Buffy. It didn't ruin it for me that I'd seen that episode. But even this wouldn't, this doesn't even ruin it, really anything. I guess you do find out a couple of things like that. That she had a relationship with Rafael Medrano. But I thought it was a great mystery, a great story. Really does a lot to build up Andrea's character, because she's a side character in the books, but she's the main character in this book. So I thought it was fantastic. Highly recommend to anyone, even if you just want a little adventure story that you want to hear. So 5 stars. I couldn't think of anything I didn't like, other than that I didn't know about this book sooner. And if there's other Andrea books, I think there might be one more. I'm definitely going to check those out. For the food, they sure do like to eat in this book, and just in the stories in general. I think it's because they're shapeshifters, so they have to keep up their strength. So I think at one point in here, she goes to meet the alpha of Clan Buddha, not the male alpha, but the female alpha, who's the big boss. I think it's Raphael's mom. And she goes to meet her at a bakery. So I've put croissants as the food to make, which, I've seen people make croissants on shows. I've never been able to make them, but it would be fun to try because it seems really hard. But if we could master that, it'd be so cool. And then for my nails, so in the story, they did not talk really much about the mystery. So they just said that some people are killed, so without giving much spoilers away, they talk about shapeshifters, but in the story there is snake shapeshifters become a big part of this. And so I am wearing these nails that kind of have these scales on them. They actually came from a set that was called Mother of Dragons, I think. So it's supposed to look like dragon scales, but I feel like dragon scales and snake scales, very similar. And so I'm wearing that set to kind of honor the shapeshifters that they were sort of fighting against in this book. And there's lots of different shape-shifting characters in this world. There's lots of different animals that they turn into, but in this particular one, they're working against some snake shapeshifters. So that's what I got for you this week. I will see you all next week for a very special episode of Ruth Reacts, where I have a guest who I will be interviewing. So stay tuned, and I will talk to you all soon. Love you. Bye.